It's been a bit of a wait, but Legend has finally released its first CD-ROM only game, Deathgate, based on the best-selling fantasy novels by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman.
Yes, Legend is jumping on the CD-ROM bandwagon, and this story of a sundered world is a great start.
You see, a long time ago, there was a world in major conflict. The two magic-using races, the Patrons and the Sartan, were lording it over the Mensch races, also known as dwarves, elves, and humans.
The Patrons and the Sartan were also at each other's throats. The Patrons were starting to hold more power over the Mensch, and this cheesed off the Sartan so bad that they finally cast a spell that split the world into 5 pieces.
This may possibly be construed as overreacting.
The Mensch were divided among 4 of the 5 new worlds, which retained the properties of the 4 elements: air, fire, stone, and water.
The 5th world was called the Nexus, and it contained the fiendishly intelligent labyrinth where all the patrons were sent. Could those Sartan have possibly been a bit vindictive? Nah.
You are a patron named Haplo, and your teacher, Lord Czar, has managed to break out of the labyrinth and into the Nexus. He has a plan to reunite the worlds, but he needs your help.
You have to travel from world to world in a magic ship through the Death Gate, the portal that connects them. You can only travel to a new world by learning that world's naming rune and inscribing it on your navigation stone. The tone of this adventure is quite different from your everyday quest. There is always a question of motivations in Deathgate, especially for Lord Czar. Why is he so intent on reuniting the world?
As a patron, you have been raised with a particular set of beliefs about your own race and about the Sartan. But the more traveling around you do, the more those beliefs are undermined. The Sartan appear to be far more considerate than you expected.
As you can see, the SVGA graphics look terrific. The pictures are among the sharpest I've ever seen in the industry.
Yeah, but I really wish they moved more. All too often, you have an almost completely static picture with moving lips or something. The pictures have so much implied life in them, and then they don't budge.
You know what? I think you've played too many 3D adventures lately. This is definitely the best-looking Legend game yet.
That's true. I'm just starting to find the Companions of Xanth engine a little stale these days. I do have to admit that the game looks cool. There were so many different styles mixed together in this game, I just found it a little disconcerting. I mean, the 3D animated opening segment looked amazing, and then that's the last you see of that style, except for the stock scene of the ship traveling from world to world. If any animation is supposed to mesh with game events, the pictures suddenly get very pixelated very fast.
Geez, your expectations must have been pretty high for you to be nitpicking like this. All the animations were really good. I admit that those few scenes were a little pixelated, but I think you only noticed because it was right next to those gorgeous stills in the game. That may have been an error in judgment, but it doesn't make it a worse game.
Oh well, maybe I'm just more motion-oriented. Anyway, my favorite part of the game was the magic system. All the spells are based on rune combinations. Whenever you see someone perform a spell, you commit it to memory, and then you not only have the new spell, but the runes it was based on.
Which means that if you want to, you can fiddle around with the spells you know to find new ones. Yeah, this is a great way to visually represent magic and make it a much more concrete concept.
The sound is also really great in this game.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm a little confused. The box refers to the game having a symphonic musical score, but it sure sounded electronic on the Sound Blaster 16.
Well then, it's my guess that symphonic does not mean that an actual symphony orchestra was involved. Perhaps it follows the same structural form as a symphony?
Unlikely. It's probably just one of those attractive sounding adjectives with no real meaning at all. But even then, the music still sounds pretty good.
It's also worth mentioning that Legend has rather cleverly included a short online tutorial and a new Deathgate short story by Weiss and Hickman.
Yes, that was a good move. That way, fans of the series who've never played a computer adventure in their life will be able to get right into the swing of things. And more experienced adventure players who've never read the books will get a taste of the writing style. Overall, Deathgate is a very strong step forward for Legend. It looks great, sounds great, plays easily, and has lots of challenging puzzles.
It also happens to include a special edition episode of interactive entertainment. But would we let a silly thing like marketing get in the way of our opinion of this game?
Heck no!